Spencer Strider and the Braves bullpen set a franchise record with 19 strikeouts against the Colorado Rockies in their 4-1 win on Saturday. Let's talk about it.
This is the Braves Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Atlanta Braves. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into the Braves Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta, where we cover your Atlanta sports teams each and every day. I'm your host, Lindsay Crosby, the author of the Braves Today newsletter over at bravestoday.com. You can follow me on social media at Crosby Baseball. Jake Mastriani is off with his family for a Father's Day dinner. Happy Father's Day to everybody out there. We're going to say it again tomorrow. And if you have not yet bought your gift, you've got a couple hours to go run out and do that. I want to talk about this 4-1 victory by the Atlanta Braves over the Colorado Rockies. We're going to get to the offense. We're going to get to Ronald Acuna Jr., but we've got to talk about Spencer Strider because this season for Spencer Strider has been one where we knew he could do better. He knew he could do better. We knew he could do better. And he has struggled with velocity. He has struggled with some of his locations. And he's not been the Spencer Strider that we know. In this one, up until the very end of the game, he looked like the old Spencer Strider. He gets a 3-pitch strikeout to open the game. Old friend Sam Hilliard called strike on a 96-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball. He has a foul ball on a 97.3-mile-an-hour fastball. And then a swinging strike on a 97.5-mile-an-hour fastball. And it's important, like, coming into the game, his average on the year was like 95 miles an hour. He averages 96.2 in this one. And it's still not where it was in his dominant 2023 year. Everybody who's looking at the year-to-year change for Spencer Strider has to remember that last year Spencer Strider made 2 starts, and in the second one is when he was compromised with the elbow. So his velocity numbers are not the same as they were in 2023, right? In 2023, he averaged 97.2 miles an hour on the fastball. But he's halfway there, right? He was averaging 95 entering today. He averaged 96 today, 1 mile an hour away from the average in 2023. And the good thing on that velocity is he held it better than he has in the past, right? We've seen in some of these starts, second, third inning, it's trailing off. And by the fourth and the fifth, he's really, he's throwing 94, some 93s and things like that. Strider's fastballs, he was looking pretty good, it felt like, until he got out there for the 6th. That was really where he started to kind of drop down. He was throwing a lot of 94s. He opened the 6th inning with 6 straight balls. He walked Sam Hilliard. He threw 2 balls to Thairo Estrada, and all of them were in the 94s. But outside of that, the velocity was very, very good. And you could see the swings from Rockies hitters. Like, yes, it's the Colorado Rockies. People who have consumed some of my other content over on Braves Today have heard this before. 2 things can be true at once. Yes, it's the Colorado Rockies, and they're on pace to be one of the worst baseball teams in modern history. But also, it is incredibly hard when you're only picking up 27 outs for 19 of them to be via strikeout. I saw this in the chat somewhere. I apologize for not seeing who said this. Still a Major League Ball club, right? The Colorado Rockies would beat any 9 of us here in the comments if we went out there and tried to play baseball, and they would beat us handily. So the Atlanta Braves, like, Strider, fantastic. 1 walk, 13 strikeouts. And when you look at the way he did it, up until the 6th inning, this was vintage Spencer Strider. He was only four-seam and slider. He got 24 whiffs in this one. 23 swings, 7 whiffs on the four-seamer, but 23 swings and 17 whiffs on the slider. They put a grand total. He threw 35 sliders. They swung at 23 of them. He put the Rockies put one into play, and it wasn't even a hard hit ball, 93.7 miles an hour. They fouled 5 of them off. They took 2 for called strikes. And so it was in that 6th inning when the velocity dropped a little bit. He had a lefty come in. He threw 2 of those curveballs. If I remember right, one was in the zone, one was not in the zone. So he got a called strike on one. The other one was a ball. But Strider looks the closest that we've seen since he returned as being back, right? Seeing him hit 98 feels really good. And then after that, I know we've all had comments. Jake and I on this postcast have complained about Rafael Montero. In an easier matchup here, he gets 6 outs, 4 of them via strikeout. So it's 2 innings, no runs, no hits. Dylan Lee gives up 1 hit and 1 run. It is unearned because of an Austin Riley error in the 9th, but Dylan Lee finishes with 2 strikeouts to set the the 9-inning game franchise record for strikeouts in a game. And what I love is Atlanta actually won this one, okay? So 19 strikeouts, they win 4-1. The previous record was, there was 2 different games where Atlanta in a 9-inning game struck out 18 batters. Both of those games, the Braves lost. It was April 10th, 2005 against the Mets. They lost 6-1 at home despite 18 strikeouts. And August 14th, 2011, it was against the Cubs at home, 6-5. They lost despite 18 strikeouts. This one, obviously, they win 4-1 because of the 19 strikeouts. The Braves allow a total of 4 hits. Strider allowed 2 singles and a double. Obviously, none of them came around to score. Dylan Lee allowed the one base hit because somebody else reached via error. This is now a couple different times we've seen Dylan Lee throw the 9th. This was technically, he did not get a save for this. It was not a save situation when he entered. The rules, just so you know, in case you're curious here, the way this works is even if the game finishes in 3 runs or less, if it's not a save situation when you enter, you can't get the save. Now, if the Braves would have gone to somebody else for the final out, they could have gotten the save. Dylan Lee does not get the save, but he has definitely been the guy Atlanta's called on in the 9th inning quite a few times. So we'd love to see that. I'm curious to see the next time you are in a save situation, which we're hoping is not tomorrow with Chris Sale. We're hoping that sometime, hopefully next week against the Mets, or honestly, maybe we just don't ever have a save situation. Wouldn't that be cool? In just a second, I want to talk about the offense, okay? We saw Ronald Acuna Jr. go nuclear again, but there's some things to discuss here, and we'll do that next, right here on the Braves Postcast. It's Father's Day weekend. My kids had fun stuff planned. My wife had fun stuff planned, but I was up until 2:30 in the morning recording and producing MLB Game Night last night. That's where Trade Coffee comes in. It has been essential for me on the weekends to have the coffee to get me through the waking hours and staying up late to do both the Braves game and then MLB Game Night. And Trade is the #1 coffee destination in the U.S. They have fresh, incredible coffee from over 50 of the country's top roasters. It doesn't matter how you drink it. You can be a cold brew fan, a pour over purist. You can be a Chemex person. Whatever you do, they have a roast that you will love. I took their quiz. The bag they sent me was absolutely perfect. If it's not, guess what? They will replace it for free until they get it right. So right now, Trade is offering our listeners 50% off your 1-month trial at drinktrade.com/lockedonmlb. That's drinktrade, TRADE.com/lockedonmlb for 50% off your 1-month trial. drinktrade.com/lockedonmlb. Today's episode is also brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. The NBA Finals are in full swing. Apparently, they had a good game last night. I think it's Monday is the next one, and then maybe Thursday after that. But highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, can't miss moments. I've been told this is one of the better finals in recent history. So because of that, there's never been a better time to get in on the action than FanDuel. They make it easy to stay in the game both before tip-off and live. Player props, performance trends, same-game parlays. You have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. Maybe you have a feeling about how the game is going to go before tip-off. You can do a same-game parlay. Maybe in-game, you have a feeling about how the rest of the game is going to unfold. Go throw a live prop bet in mid-game. If you're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com. Place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, so real quick, before we get to the offense, I did just get something from the Braves communication staff about Spencer Strider. So 13 strikeouts this afternoon. Spencer Strider now has tied John Smoltz for the most 13 strikeout performances in franchise history, right? Both Smoltz and Strider have done it 5 times. The difference here, John Smoltz did it in 466 career starts. Spencer Strider did it in his 60th career start. We've already seen Spencer Strider set the single season strikeout record for the franchise, taking it from John Smoltz. Now he has tied John Smoltz for the most 13 strikeout performances in history, but he did it in 406 less starts. Okay, so let's get to the offense real quick. Atlanta has 7 hits in this one. They score 1 in the first. They score 2 more in the second. The big blow here was the Ronald Acuna Jr. home run. He homers in the second inning after Nick Allen gets on. And shout out to Nick Allen. There's been a topic of conversation I've seen floating around a little bit about, does Atlanta need to move Ronald Acuna Jr. back in the lineup and have somebody who can get on in front of him? Because it feels like he's batting a lot with the bases empty. He's driven in Nick Allen a few times, but Nick Allen lines a single to right field. Ronald immediately launches a home run to bring him in. And on the Ronald home run, I don't know if you've kind of all had a chance to either rewatch it or look at the pitch plot. He's down 1-2. This is a 98-mile-an-hour fastball above the zone that he goes up and gets. Fantastic piece of hitting. That's the kind of thing, if you're Chase Dolander, you really can't be mad that you gave up a home run on that pitch, because that's a very good pitch, and Ronald's just an absolute freak, right? Ronald Acuna Jr. is absurdly dominant, and honestly, at this point, it's very hard not only to argue that Ronald should not be in the All-Star game in Truist Park this year. It feels very likely that he just might, in fact, be in the All-Star game. I'm starting to wonder, can he do enough to get into the MVP conversation? I don't think, given how much time that he's missed, that he would definitely, that he would win it. But this is just something where he is dominant. He's been so fantastic. In 20 games now for Ronald Acuna Jr., he's batting .387. He has 7 home runs. He's driven in 13. He's scored 18 runs. And his OPS is 1.178. From when he returned in this 20-game span, Ronald Acuna Jr. leads the National League in WAR. And he's at the point, it's a pace of over 10 WAR from now through the end of the season, if he obviously plays at this rate all the way through. It's only been 20 games. We don't know. But Ronald's just been absurdly dominant. I think we need to acknowledge that. And I do know, I talked to Jake. Obviously, Jake is not here. Again, family thing for Father's Day with his family, but he did say he had some stuff planned on Monday's show, or for Monday's show, about Ronald Acuna Jr. and the pace he's done and all of that. Outside of Ronald, Atlanta picks up 5 other hits. Alex Verdugo has 1 for the 2-hole. He goes 1 for 3. Austin Riley goes 2 for 4 with an RBI. Matt Olson goes 1 for 3 with an RBI. Matt Olson also made a fantastic catch at the net, either the 8th or the 9th inning. So we've talked before. I've written over on Braves Today about how good Olson's been defensively. And most of that has been me talking about him running into the outfield to catch foul balls. But he's been very good by the fence as well. We saw that tonight. And Atlanta does go 3 for 8 with runners in scoring position. I still felt like they left a little bit on the table offensively, though. You got some zeros. Marcell Ozuna 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts. He said to the media last night that the hip is not bothering him, and it was just a slump that he was in. I was hoping he would continue to show that today. He really struggled a little bit there. But you get that. Drake Baldwin is 0 for 4 in this one. His batting average on the season is now down to 287. In the last 15 games, he's batting 140. In his last 7 games, he's batting 100. I'm not ready to say it needs to go back to a heavily weighted Sean Murphy taking over the thing. Sean Murphy's not been that much better, but it is something. I'm glad that Ronald's back in hot. I'm glad that Matt Olson's hitting better. Michael Harris is hitting better. Austin Riley is hitting better, with the exception of last night, simply because Drake Baldwin's bat has slowed down a little bit. And to the point that Hunter's making in the chat here, the bottom of the lineup in general, outside of Nick Allen, who had some good at-bats and did get a hit and a run, the bottom of the lineup just really didn't do anything from an offensive perspective. I will say, though, for Michael Harris, he only struck out once. And it feels like his chase, he cut down on his chase. He did all of that today. So, again, Braves take this one by a score of 4-1. You do have the finale tomorrow. The Braves, as of now, are scheduled to throw Chris Sale. I know I had talked earlier in the week about I wonder if you push him back so you can use him against the Mets. It feels like they're going to want to go ahead and lock this series down. So it is Chris Sale versus Austin Gomber. It's a start against a lefty here. It's lefty on lefty. That game is at 1:35 p.m. I'll remind you again, if you don't have a Father's Day gift, a card, whatever, go out and take care of that. Despite it being Father's Day, I'm going to be here with you to do a postcast to break down what happened in that game, where we are hoping this is a Braves sweep, their first sweep in a while, and gets them on the path to being competitive again and being able to get back into the wild card race and get back towards 500. There's a question in the chat from Jeff. Will it be our first sweep? You did sweep Minnesota earlier in the year. So it's not your first sweep, but it is the first sweep in a while. Do me a favor. If you're listening on audio, leave a 5-star review, Apple, Spotify, YouTube Music. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to both Locked On Braves and Locked On Sports Atlanta. Hit the notification bell so you know when Jake's dropping new episodes. They're talking about the Falcons over on Locked On Sports Atlanta. And when we go live to break down what hopefully is the start of a long winning streak. This is the 3rd game in a row. 4th game in a row is going to be tomorrow, and you're going to take that momentum into the Mets series next week. I'm Lindsay Crosby. This has been the Braves Postcast.